This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim pass the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Postgame reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks get blown out in Phoenix. The first half started off okay. Right? I mean, they got down by 8 or 11 at certain points during the first half, but they always found a way to fight back into the game. Second half, ladies and gentlemen, no dice. I would say for the first half of the third quarter, the Knicks played okay. But eventually, the Phoenix Suns began to pick apart the Knicks defense. Pick apart that defense, ladies and gentlemen. So the Knicks are right now 2-2 on this West Coast trip. And this ended up being a pretty bad game for the Knicks. Blown out 116-95. And, there's fault to blame all the way across the board. The only person that really two people came to play. Two people. Jalen Brunson and Quentin Grimes. So we'll get to those two guys. But I want to talk about the guys that did not come to play. Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Neither one of those guys came to play tonight versus the Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about Julius Randle and what he needed to do against Torrey Craig. And guess what? He did not do that. Torrey Craig, who came into the game averaging 7 points per game, had 14 tonight. He doubled it up. Julius Randle had no energy. Bad on defense. Bad on offense. It's bad all the way around. Gave no help to Jalen Brunson. RJ Barrett. No help to Jalen Brunson. Now, this is, Julius Randle's played okay, but this was just a really, really, really bad game all the way around. Offensively, defensively, it wasn't there. And, Tom Thibodeau, I felt like should have recognized it early in the third quarter and took him out the game because it wasn't there for him. If this game was tight, Tom Thibodeau probably would have brought him back. Obi didn't play great, but I thought he played better defensively than Julius Randle when he was out there on the floor. But Julius Randle was no help at all tonight. Nor was RJ Barrett. 9 points and 6 rebounds for Julius Randle. 12 points and 4 rebounds for RJ Barrett. You're not going to win. These are two of the three guys that get paid the most money. You're not going to win when they don't produce. And you'll probably get blown out the way that the Knicks did tonight when they don't produce. You can't have only one of your so-called big three produce on a team like this when you don't have, Emmanuel Quickley's not doing what we hoped and thought he would do this season. The Knicks have one last chance to come away with a winning record on this road trip. And to be honest with you, if the Knicks come away from this road trip 3-2, they salvage it, in my opinion. I mean, they're already 2-2. They come away 3-2, they salvage it. So they have a game tomorrow night in OKC. And they'll have a chance to salvage the road trip, in my opinion. take a look at the box score tonight for the New York Knicks. I just read off Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett. Again, Randle with 9 points, 6 rebounds, 3 turnovers. And when Randle doesn't have it going, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to say it like this, but sometimes it feels like he loses brain function, right? He throws to make a pass, but he'll throw right into the defense's hands. There's 2 things that I'm seeing Julius Randle do. It seems more this year than he's done in the past. And maybe one of them he definitely did in the past. That's jumping to pass. One of them he did in the past for sure. And that's jumping to pass. So I wanted to make sure I clarified those the way that I said it. Made it clear for y'all. But he gets in the lane and he jumps in the air to make the pass. And like Clyde always says, that's a cardinal sin of basketball, especially of passing the basketball. You don't jump in the air to make a pass. Because if there's no one to pass the ball to, now what? You know what happens? You either throw up some kind of garbage shot or you travel. You keep your feet grounded. I had to learn that the hard way. I had referees that would tell me, hey, don't jump and pass. When you jump with a purpose to score. Right? Don't jump to pass the ball. Julius Randle does it all the time. Derrick Rose does it as well. Another thing that I'm seeing Julius Randle do, which causes him at times to miss out on 3-point plays. He gets in the air and, instead of focusing on the rim to shoot, the only time he really focuses on the rim is when Julius Randle, his intentions are to score, right? Then he focuses on the rim. But so many times, he doesn't really have great peripheral vision, I think. Right? Because you see Randle get in the air and jump and look towards where he wants to pass the ball. And if it's not there, he now has to turn his head to the rim to try to convert the shot. Seen him do it today. I've seen him do it a couple of times, but like tonight I seen him really do it and it was caught on camera. And then the other night I think I seen him do it. And this time it was caught really, really close up on camera. He jumped in the air and he was looking to pass. He got fouled, and then he had to turn his head to throw it up at the rim. Missed it. Went to the foul line. I'm not sure I don't remember if he knocked down both free throws or not. But look, if you're going to the basket, what I teach my players, if you're going to the basket, go to the basket to score, not to pass. Everything else will take care of itself. The defense will collapse and you'll be able to kick. But if you go to the basket waiting to see if you're going to be able to make a pass, somehow, some way you're going to make a mistake, right? Because you're still kind of indecisive. And you're not fully, committed 100% to the basket, because that's what makes the defense collapse. When you commit to that basket, you commit to the drive, and you're going hard, the defense gets in a state of emergency. They're like, oh, boom, let me get here. And then, bang, you break down and kick. But when you're going to the basket and you're kind of not really committed, kind of slow. Now, I don't want to say slow, but maybe tippy-toeing through because you want to be able to get that pass off if it's there. The defense, they won't really commit because they can see that you're looking to pass. You got to commit. Look at the rim. Commit. And then make that pass. You know what I mean? Before you even commit, see where everyone is positioned. And know your possibilities. Know your options. Either way, Julius Randle played terrible tonight. Terrible. R.J. Barrett, 12 points, 4 rebounds. And, man, it's starting to feel like it's not going to get better for R.J. Barrett. You're hoping that it does, but, I mean, it's like he's plodding around on the floor. He looks slow. He's playing slow. There's no lift. Anytime he shoots the ball, I have almost no faith that it's going to go in right now. I don't know what the answer is for him. I mean, he needs some time to get in the gym. Look, I think he needs a couple of days off, to be honest with you. You probably can't do it right now because Cam Reddish is out with the groin. Now Derrick Rose is out. So this isn't a time when you can do it. But I think R.J. Barrett might need a couple of days rest. Clear his head a little bit, right? Give him a chance to just get away from the game, I think. And I'm not talking like a week. I'm talking just a game or two, just to give him a chance to clear his head out. Because right now, he's forcing the issue. He knows he's not scoring. He knows that he's needed to score. I mean, he's scoring the ball, right? He is getting to the line. He's 5 for 6 from the free throw line today for 83%. But he knows that his efficiency and production is needed for this team to be successful, and I feel like he's just forcing. You know what I mean? And it's making it more difficult. I think he needs some time off. Just give him a couple of days. Give him a couple of days to be off. Maybe not even think about the game, or either not think about the game or get in the gym. I would say at least one day where he can chill without thinking about the game. Do something else. Go to the movies. Whatever. I don't know. Just do something else besides basketball. Then get back in the gym and can start to get some shots up. Right? Refresh yourself. Recharge your batteries. You know what I mean? And then get back to the basketball game. But I think he needs a day or two off. I think he needs a day or two off because I just don't think that him continuing to go, you need a break every once in a while. Quentin Grimes, though, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about QG because he came in and played a really good basketball game. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists for Quentin Grimes. And he answered some questions that I think a lot of people were asking about Quentin Grimes. Can he create for others? He did that today. Right? He didn't get, how many shots? 10 shots for Quentin Grimes, 40% from the field, 1 for 5 from the three-point line. Right? So, I mean, it wasn't a great shooting night. Wasn't a great shooting night, but he showed some things out there. You know what I mean? I thought he was better than 1 for 5 on the three-point line. Maybe one of those were counted as a 2 then. I thought it was better than that. But he showed that he could get to the basket. I think he made a couple of shots off the dribble. Obviously, with 8 assists, he was able to help create for other people. A really good game for Quentin Grimes. In the first half, he played really, really good defense on Devin Booker. It just so happens in the second half, the Phoenix Suns adjusted and started to find different ways for Devin Booker to get involved. And Devin Booker, being the player that he is, it's easy for him to adjust and say, okay, coach, now you want me to do flex cuts. You want me to do this kind of cut, that kind of cut, come off this screen and that screen. It's easy for him to do that because he's talented that way. And he's got that kind of basketball IQ. So the Phoenix Suns adjusted, and Devin Booker was able to get loose, or a little bit looser, in that second half. That's when the floodgates really started to open up. Because when your main guy starts to get loose, it normally opens up space for other players to get more involved. At one point in that third quarter, ladies and gentlemen, the game was tied at 60. And then the Phoenix Suns just took over. Let's take a look at the scoring output from the Phoenix Suns. Well, I'll finish reading through the box score for the New York Knicks. Isaiah Hartenstein only had 7 points and 4 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson, 2 points, 4 rebounds. Derrick Rose, 7 points. He was playing well until he had to go out with a foot injury. And I think that definitely hurt the second unit. Miles McBride, though, he did come in with 9 points, but he doesn't put the same pressure on the rim that Derrick Rose does. Miles McBride is more of a mid-range shooter, right? Couple of dribbles, pop, pop, pull. So he doesn't put the same pressure on the defense that Derrick Rose does. But he came in 9 points for Miles McBride. Jericho Sims, 5 points, 5 rebounds tonight. Obi Toppin, 0 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Emmanuel Quickly, 6 points. It's not enough scoring output for the New York Knicks. Only 3 people in double digits. For the Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen, you see it on your screen right now. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in double digits. And Devin Booker wasn't even their best scorer tonight. That was Cameron Payne, 21 points and 9 assists for Cameron Payne, who's filling in for Chris Paul at that point guard position. He also had 7 rebounds, almost a triple-double, filled up the stat sheet. 2 blocks as well. Devin Booker, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. DeAndre Ayton, 13 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists for DeAndre Ayton. I told you, he can pass from that post and high post. Right? And he was a load down there. Guy, Jericho Sims, Mitchell Robinson clearly is out of shape. Right? It's gonna take a couple of games for him to get back in shape. I don't expect that he would start tomorrow night. Right? I think Tom Thibodeau would probably remain with the same lineup. Mitchell Robinson just is not in shape right now, and it was clear today. Torrey Craig, 14 points, 50% from the three-point line, 5 for 9 from the field overall. Mikal Bridges, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Played some very good defense on Julius Randle, caused problems for him all night long. Torrey Craig played good defense on Julius Randle as well and caused problems for him. Both of those guys caused a lot of problems for Julius Randle defensively. Julius Randle couldn't get to his spots as cleanly as he would have liked to. Poking the ball away from Julius Randle, so on and so forth. Damian Lee, ladies and gentlemen, 15 points and 4 assists. 6 players in double digits for the Phoenix Suns. Guys were knocking down wide open threes. Right? This continues to be a problem for the New York Knicks. In the first quarter, the Knicks trying to get out on these three-point shooters. That I will say, in the first half, the Knicks played good defense, I thought. It was decent enough defense. But they were fouling three-point shooters. Julius Randle fouled, I think it was either Mikal Bridges. Mitchell Robinson fouled whoever it was. Maybe it was, fouled somebody from the three-point line. I don't remember. I think it was Devin Booker for a 4-point play. Trying to get out there and close out. Anyway. The New York Knicks dropped one to the Phoenix Suns. And there's more questions now with what goes on with the New York Knicks rotation, to be honest with you. More questions out there. Because now we look at Quentin Grimes and the way that he played today, right? And when Cam Reddish comes back, what happens with that? Who's the starter? Quentin Grimes is going to get his shot right now to prove that he should be the starter. And the way he looked today, it looked pretty good. Right? He was able to, we talked about some of the things that he could do. There's going to be some people out there that say, put RJ on the bench and let Cam Reddish start. And let Cam Reddish and Quentin Grimes start. There's going to be some people that say that. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that's going to happen. Defensively, the Knicks would be better. What would happen offensively? Who knows? I'll tell you this. I can guarantee you when Cam Reddish comes back, because Evan Fournier, he's banished. He's gone. I seen somebody in the chat just say it. You need shooting out there, and Evan Fournier's not playing. Evan Fournier's gone. He's done. You might not see him play for the New York Knicks again this season. When Tom Thibodeau needed another guard, he went with Miles McBride in lieu of Evan Fournier. And, maybe it's because he felt he needed more defense out there on the floor. But clearly the Knicks needed some shooting. Right? They only scored 95 points tonight. He went with Miles McBride. I think that says a lot. I think that says a whole lot. So, when you're talking about Evan Fournier at this point, and I think you heard him say it on the telecast, a conversation needs to be had. It's time, if they haven't had it already, they should have already had this conversation. But, conversation definitely needs to be had to say, hey, what are we going to do? What's going on with Evan Fournier moving forward? Evan Fournier's not going to say anything or do anything. He's not going to demand a trade or anything like that. I don't think. Doesn't seem to be like that kind of guy. And he'll probably do what's asked of him. But if you're not going to use him, you might as well try to figure out how to turn him into an asset. Turn him into somebody who is going to play, maybe a defender, a 3-and-D guy, or turn him into some kind of future asset. And, again, December the 15th or some date like that is when, other guys are going to be able to be traded, when things are going to open up. So you'll probably hear more then. But, the Knicks they've got to have those discussions with Evan Fournier. The hard thing is the Knicks do need shooting. They do need guys who can knock down the three, because the Knicks they came into this game not shooting the ball terribly well from the 3-point line. They also came into the game not a very good defensive team, and of course tonight didn't help in that stat category. You can, but Evan Fournier wasn't knocking down threes. It's not like he was knocking down threes. And he wasn't playing great defense either. With that being said, neither is RJ. He's not hitting threes, and he's not playing great defense. So where do you go from here with that? Where do you go with that? I don't know. I know people are going to say put RJ on the bench, but at this point, you really can't do that, because now you got two of your main rotation guys hurt. Cam Reddish had turned into a main rotation player, and Derrick Rose, he was getting 12, 13 minutes per game. He's now injured, and we'll see what comes of that. Maybe it's going to be day-to-day or something like that. I can almost guarantee neither one of those guys. I don't know about Derrick Rose. Cam Reddish probably won't be playing tomorrow night. I don't think his groin will heal that fast. And given his reputation, you can almost count on it that it won't heal that fast. So there's some questions to go around, ladies and gentlemen. Some questions to go around. Let's take a look at some of the numbers behind the basketball game today, some of the stats of the game. The Knicks lost 116-95. You see the score up there on your screen. And, actually, let me refresh this so I can get the correct rebounding numbers at least on the screen. And maybe these are the correct rebounding numbers. If they are, that's not a good thing. The Knicks out-rebounded 60-39. That's rough. That's rough. Because when you're not hitting shots, you got to be able to rebound the basketball. And clearly, the Knicks weren't doing that. 35 assists for the Phoenix Suns. 20 for the New York Knicks. 35 assists, ladies and gentlemen. And those are 35 assists on 43 makes for the Phoenix Suns. 35 assists on 43 makes. That means there was not a whole lot of one-on-one play. Literally, 8 makes were from one-on-one plays. And those one-on-one plays probably still came from good ball movement. It's just, that ball movement led to an isolation play. One more time. 35 assists on 43 makes. Let it sink in. The Knicks, 20 assists on 34 makes for the New York Knicks. 4 steals for the Knicks, 3 for the Phoenix Suns, 7 blocks for the Knicks, 8 for the Suns. Neither team really turned the ball over a lot. 10 for the Knicks, 13 for the Suns. The Knicks only shot 40% from the field. They shot 28% from 3. The Knicks took tonight 25 3-point attempts. Only person really making any threes tonight. Derrick Rose made 2. Jalen Brunson made 2. Miles McBride made 1. 80% from the free throw line for the Knicks. They were 20 for 25 from the free throw line. The Knicks have been doing a good job getting to the line the last few games, and getting to the line has helped to keep them afloat when their offense is sputtering. The Phoenix Suns really only shot 42.6% from the field, but they shot 43.6% from the three-point line. They came into the game shooting 37.7%, right, and averaging like 33 threes a game. Tonight, they took 39 threes. They made 17 of them. Listen, the Knicks attempted 25. The Phoenix Suns made 17. I mean, that's pretty close to, it's pretty close. 17 made, only 25 attempts for the Knicks. But you know what? Listen, if the Knicks aren't making them, why attempt them? Because they're not really making them. 46 points in the paint for the Knicks, 42 for the Phoenix Suns. Second chance points, 19 for the Suns, 11 for the Knicks. And on the break, neither team was really running a lot. 13 for the Phoenix Suns and 12 for the New York Knicks. And, the first half of the game, I said to myself, well, at least they rebounded. And when I'm saying rebounded, I don't mean rebounding the basketball. At least they came back. They came back with some vigor. Right? They came back, ready to play. But it faded in that third quarter. Really, really bad third quarter for the Knicks. They were outscored by 13 in the third quarter. Right? Third quarter for the New York Knicks. They shot 16.7% from the three-point line, 42.9% from the field. They scored 22 points. All right, for the Phoenix Suns, 35 points. They were 6 for 13 from the three-point line. They were 52% from the field overall. All right, 10 assists. The Knicks did have, 6 assists in the third quarter. But the Knicks, they fell into going one-on-one, right? It became the Jalen Brunson show. In that third quarter, he was trying to keep the Knicks in the game, doing what he could to keep the Knicks in the game. It just wasn't enough, because once you resort to straight up one-on-one, now the defense can cue in on that player. That's problematic. And I'm not saying it's Jalen Brunson's fault. Nobody else was scoring. Nobody was helping the guy out. Nobody else could hit shots. So he tried to do what he could do. Try to do what he could do. Keith Turner said, Brunson ain't staying long if you don't get him some help fast. I mean, he just got here, man. He just got here. I don't think, listen, he's under a 4-year contract or whatever it is. He doesn't have a no trade clause. I think he'll be here. He's going to try to battle it out. I don't think he's going to be like, oh, I'm out of here, because the Knicks are now 8-9 on the season. You know what I mean? What needs to happen is Julius Randle's got to play better. RJ Barrett's got to play better. That's what needs to happen on nights like this, especially RJ Barrett, though, because he hasn't played well in a while. Blue Diamond Jim said, Brunson ain't that dude. Luka made him look way better than he really is. Well, he had 27 points tonight. All right. He's averaging over 20 points and just about 7 assists on the season. I don't know where you're going with that. You know what I mean? I have no hate in my heart towards Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? No hate in my heart towards Jalen Brunson. I think he came to do a job, and I think he's doing that job. To be honest with you. So I don't know where you're going with it. Tough one for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if I was expecting a win. I was expecting them to play better. They played better in the first half, but it wasn't sustainable, or they just didn't sustain it. The Phoenix Suns picked apart the Knicks' defense. And next thing you know, it was open shot after open shot. The Knicks, started dropping their shoulders, looking to the referees for answers. The answers within themselves, not within the referees. From time to time, the refs are going to give you bad calls, but the answer is within yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And the Knicks just didn't have it. So now they travel to OKC, a team that just beat them at the Garden a few nights ago. And this is not this is going to be a tough game for the Knicks, in my opinion. And I know someone the other night said, oh, Simeon thinks every game is going to be tough. It is, because the Knicks are a mid-level team. So, yes, every game is going to be tough. Right now, the Knicks are 8-9 in the 9th spot in the Eastern Conference, in that play-in, right there in that play-in. All right, OKC are currently 7-9 outside of the play-in in the Western Conference. All right, but the last game that the Knicks and OKC played, look, the Knicks, I don't know. I don't know. They should have won that basketball game. Should have and could have won that game. Right? I'm expecting that the Knicks are going to come back with have a vengeance in trying to get this win back versus OKC. That's my expectation. Will they get the win? We'll find out. But I think that they are going to play better than they played tonight. That's just my opinion of it. I mean, they can't be happy that they took that loss versus OKC a couple of nights ago. All right, SGA, he did his thing. All right, just looking back at that game real quick. Let me see. Looking back at that game, as soon as my screen refreshes here, the Knicks scored 135 points and lost the game. If you remember that. Right? And that's what stung so much, because their defense was just terrible. Right? And this is what caused the Knicks to have that team dinner, that team meeting. Right? The Knicks gave up 79 points in the first half. It was 79-73. And this was after having an amazing first quarter, a record-breaking first quarter. The Knicks scored 48 points in the first quarter. They were up 12 to OKC. And it looked like they were, going to have a very good night. The Knicks struggled the rest of the way. They lost the second quarter, 43-25. Right? In the third quarter, the Knicks lost 43-33. And then in the fourth quarter, the Knicks won it 29-33, but for the most part, they were outscored for the remainder of the basketball game. Right? SGA dropped 37. Josh Giddey had 24. He had a triple-double, 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. And we'll talk about all of this tomorrow in the game preview. Lou Dort had 24 points. Jeremiah Robinson Earl had 17 points and 7 rebounds. AP had 12 points. Ended up being a bad night for the Knicks. Then after that loss, they went on a 2-game win streak, if you want to call that a streak. So, the Knicks, I'm pretty sure, are going to be looking to really looking to get a win versus OKC in OKC. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe right now. Okay? Hit that like button for me. Okay? And, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Blue Diamond Gem, you said Brunson is a good role player, which is someone you don't build around, but is the best player. That's bad news for the Knicks. The Knicks have a team of high-level role players, I think. I hope. As far as your top 3 guys, right? You think that they're high-level role players. And what the Knicks are trying to build upon is not, at least right now, what they're trying to do right now. And then I'm not even going to say build upon. I think what they're trying to do right now is get these 3 players and other higher level role players to mesh together so that they have good chemistry and they win because of chemistry and teamwork. Right now, it's not happening that way. It's not happening that way. Jalen Brunson is not the end point. The Knicks are still trying to build a team. He's not the end point. He's a part of a team. And hopefully he's going to be a part of whatever happens and goes on in the future. But Jalen Brunson is not the end point. I think we forget about that a lot when we talk about this basketball team. And we look and say, well, yeah, they signed this guy. He's not a superstar. But, it's not the end point. There's still more that has to happen. In the meantime, we want to see this team try to flourish as much as they can. Why? Why do we want to see them flourish? Because if they can flourish and if they can play with chemistry and prove that they can be competitive, which they've been competitive, but we'd like to see them, it'd be nice if they were 9-8 instead of 8-9, right? Or 10-7 or something like that. But, let's hope that they hit a streak to get there, because later on in the season, the schedule's going to get tougher when they come back after OKC, and it's going to get tougher later on. But you want to see them flourish so that when they do, whenever it happens, and if they do pull the trigger, they've got to pull the trigger on a player. You say, okay, this guy is coming into a nice base of players and is truly going to elevate them. You know what I'm saying? And if these guys can perform when somebody does become free, or however it works out, one, if someone is a free agent and is looking for a team, they might say, yeah, I think I could fit in over there. 2, when your team plays well and now you're looking to trade for a guy, your assets look better because your team plays well. So it is important that this team can play well. The Knicks gave these guys contracts, right? So they're trying to build something, but let's not forget, it is not the end all. You know what I mean? It's not the end all when you're trying to, when you add a player. Jalen Brunson is not the end all. He made it clear before the season even started. He's not the savior, right? Keith Turner said it right there. Brunson wasn't brought here to be the savior of this franchise. No, he was brought here to be a part of the franchise, a part of the team, and hopefully a building block. Ant McQueen, talking to Sherwin, said the overall team defense is bad. It's not like the guys you've mentioned are just being targeted possession after possession. I don't know who Sherman mentioned, but I agree. The overall team defense is bad. It goes up and down. Sometimes it looks like it's good, and then somewhere along the line, the opposing team figures out the Knicks defense and starts to pick it apart. This is where those third quarters, when the Knicks have these third quarters of doom, this is where you can see that the other team went into the locker room. They said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Bump, 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 bump. Assistant coaches on the bench, film guys in the film room, breaking things down, doing a good job, breaking it down and saying to the head coach, here's a plan. This is what we might need to do. Take a look at this. Take a look at that. Take a look at that. And they adjust. The Knicks, I've said it time and time again, the defense doesn't adjust much. They come out with the same defense time and time again, and other teams adjust to it, and then the Knicks do not have a counter to the adjustment, and we get what we got tonight. And I put that on Tom Thibodeau. That is the biggest criticism that I have for Tom Thibodeau is the defensive adjustments. The Rucker said, our problem is defense. I hope we trade Randle for a defender. I can tell you what, Randle's not the only problem on defense. So if you're just going to say Julius Randle was terrible tonight. And I'm not saying he's a top-level defender. But if you think just trading Julius Randle for a defender is going to change what's going on with this team defensively, you're mistaken. It's not just Julius Randle. R.J. Barrett clearly is not a good defender. Jalen Brunson tries hard and works hard, but his size and speed gets the best of him in that department. Right? So it's not just one guy. You know what I mean? Sherman said he mentioned Brunson, Ihart, and Obi, I guess saying that those guys get targeted. I didn't think Obi played terrible defense today. I thought his defense was better than Julius Randle today. For the amount of minutes that he was in there, he wasn't scoring or hitting shots or things. But I thought his defense was better than Julius Randle today. Darren Wayne said it's always Randle's fault no matter what. Yeah, that's what some people will say. You know what I mean? That's what, and I know I think you're being facetious there, Darren. I think you're being facetious. When you say that, it's not. It's it's a team thing. You know what I mean? It's a team. It's a team defense. It's a team offense. It's the entire team. Julius Randle's played well for a good part of the season. He's had lapses defensively. He's not a perfect basketball player by any means. I think we know that he has lapses defensively. You know what I mean? But he's given us, I think, more than he's given us more positive so far this season than negative, in my opinion. Tonight was all bad. He just played a terrible basketball game. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say, if these guys are sick, sit them out. Don't play. If you're not healthy enough to play, just don't play. You know what I'm saying? You hurt the team. You hurt the team. There's some guys in the league that can play 50% and still be better than most of the people on the floor. We don't have any of those guys. We have none of those guys. So if you're not healthy enough to give 100% on the floor, don't play. You know what I mean? Don't play. So I I don't know how many people. It looks like it's only 2 people that maybe have this, sickness or whatever. Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett. Those 2 guys are the only 2 guys that I think we know of that are maybe dealing with it. Again, I'm just gonna say, don't play. If you do play, and I'm not saying that these guys have used it as an excuse, but if you do play, we can't look at it and say, well, they're sick, they're not feeling well, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you stepped out there on the floor. Once you step on the floor, you're expected to be able to give 100%. That's what the expectation is. Once you step on the floor. If you cannot do that, don't step on the floor. Coaching staff, keep them out. Medical staff, keep them out. And now these guys got to turn around and play one more game in OKC. It doesn't, it's not going to let up, right? They're going to play in OKC and they come right home and play the Portland Trailblazers, right? And in between there, they got to travel home. Actually, they get a little bit of a break. So, excuse me for that. So maybe that's a good thing for them, right? Because of Thanksgiving and all that stuff. They play tomorrow at 8 p.m. against OKC. Then they don't play again until Friday. So maybe they'll get a chance to rest. Recharge their batteries. If they can battle a win out tomorrow versus OKC, battle out a win versus OKC, right? Lead the road trip. Finish up this road trip at 3-2. It's a good road trip. That'd be a good West Coast swing against good competition. They leave out of there 3-2. Come home. Get some rest. Come back Monday, the 25th. Friday, the 25th, the day after Thanksgiving, ready to ball. Hopefully rested up a little bit. That's got to be the plan. They got to lay it all out against OKC tomorrow. You know what I mean? Just lay it all out there on the floor and come back ready to go. I don't know where to go from there. You know what I mean? Because then, a tough stretch begins. Trailblazers, Grizzlies, the Pistons, they're the Pistons. Milwaukee, and it just gets tougher. Dallas, Cleveland, Atlanta, Charlotte, Sacramento's playing well. Chicago, Indiana, Golden State, Toronto, Chicago, Philly, Dallas. You know what I mean? They better use this time to rest up a little bit. Get this win versus OKC tomorrow, rest up a little bit, and then bam. You know what I mean? But ladies and gentlemen, rough day for New York sports, right? Without a doubt. We've seen the Giants play some terrible football today. Let me see. Let me run it down real quick. Make sure I have the exact scores for you. The Bills got to win. The Jets lose 10-3 to the Patriots. The Giants got blasted 31-18. I turned that game off third quarter. But tough day in New York sports, ladies and gentlemen. And then the Knicks get blasted by the Phoenix Suns 116-95. But hey, they still got a chance to salvage the road trip. But folks, I'm going to get up out of here. Later on tonight, it's probably going to be way later. I'm going to do a little 30-minute show on the Westchester Knicks. They begin playing at home, Bridgeport, Connecticut, on the 22nd. It's going to be their first home game. All right, so, we'll take a look a little bit of what's going on in Westchester and whatnot. And, this year we're going to continue. We're going to do that show once a week and just follow what's happening with those guys. All right? So, hey, I appreciate your time, ladies and gentlemen. All right? I'm going to head up out of here. I'll see you tomorrow for the game preview. I'll see you tomorrow night again for the post-game show. Let's hope that the Knicks can travel to OKC and come out and be. It is good. Today's game was at 3:30. I don't know, it shouldn't be a long trip from Phoenix to OKC. Right? They can get to OKC, have a little bit of time to rest. Right? So Phoenix to OKC, if you're driving, it's 14 hours. So hopefully a plane trip is 2 or 3 hours. Right? So if a plane trip is 2 or 3 hours to OKC, they can get there tonight, over there. I don't know what time it is right now over there, but, maybe it's 5:43 or something there in Phoenix. They can get there, 8:30, 9 o'clock, rest, and they don't have to play until 8 p.m. So, that might give them a couple of more hours to rest on the back-to-back. Hopefully it helps them out. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Appreciate your time. I'll see you later on tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.